Hey, this is Tresta Neal with the number 8 and the beehive. The beehive is the part of the symbol for the state of Utah, and it has 8 levels. Most beehives are written with 8 levels. So if you look on any of the symbols for the beehive, here I've got one right here. So if you'll look at this beehive, there's one on the temple, on the doors of the temple, there's this beehive, but it's got on the bottom of it, it's got a square. It's placed on a square board. So you've got the number 4, the square on the bottom. You've got 8 layers of the beehive, and then it's got a very top tip, a point. So you're following the numbers 4, 8, and 1. So think of that 4, 8, 1. Now let's go to a steeple. Think about a steeple that's on a chapel. Most chapels, I've noticed a few of them that don't, but most do. They start out with a bottom where they have a square down here. And then they either have 8 octagonal shapes around it, or they have 2 square octagonal shapes, like the 2 squares on top of each other. And then it points up to the steeple, which goes up to a point, which is the number 1. So the steeples and the beehives all follow that same pattern. 4, 8, 1. Now, why is that significant? What's the 4 and the 8 and the 1 got to do with anything, right? So the 4 represents mortality. It represents earth life, what we do on earth. The 8 represents resurrection. It's what we do at baptism. It's a rebirth. Okay, so both baptism and rebirth happen with the number 8. And then the number 1 is God, or back with God. So we have mortality at number 4. Then we go through our 8 steps, or the resurrection or the rebirth, until we get to God. So think of the numbers 4, 8, and 1 as a progress to getting to heaven. Just as the steeple is teaching us that we're going to be learning in church to get to heaven. And the beehive also represents the same thing, that together, working together like the little bees do, that they were going to go from mortality to immortality. Thanks.